Da, comrades, welcome back to channel. Today... oh shit, I sound like Count Dracula. Anyways, ladies and gents, welcome back to Cold Waters with Mags, and welcome back aboard the Alpha Class Nuclear Attack Submarine Tiger K481. So, we have been given a new mission. A massive convoy has been detected coming out of one of the North Atlantic trade routes. Now, this massive convoy is likely a resupply fleet, either bound for the United Kingdom or it's going to be bound directly for the shores of contested lands in Europe. We can't let that arrive, so we've had to jump over the sonar nets and get into the North Atlantic and intercept this fleet before it can get to any of its destinations. Now, we have managed to intercept the convoy in the deeper waters just to the north of England. Thank you. We are now in the process of trying to identify exactly what this fleet consists of. Now, we know that it is supposed to be a large fleet, and this is slightly different to standard Cold Waters campaigns. A large fleet in the default Cold Waters campaigns might be as much as 5 ships. There could be 10 in the mod, or potentially more. Like, the fleets are significantly larger. And we do actually have a limit on the number of torpedoes we're carrying. The Alpha is not packing a huge amount of ordnance. It's not designed to. It's essentially an interceptor of the ocean. So we'll see how this plays out. I hope you enjoy. I'm going to have to assume that E5 is just another one of the oil tankers. It's in the center between 2 escorts, so it has to be. Alright. Go for the center. That's a ping from the center of the fleet. There's a 3rd escort. Shit. Wire broke. Alright, so we've got a loose torpedo heading towards the fleet. I wanted some control over that. Crap. Yeah, game's up now. As soon as that gets into the center of the fleet, everybody's going to detect it. All those convoys, convoy ships are going to start running, and the escorts, if they haven't, well, they wouldn't have detected me already, but they're going to go.
On torpedo room 2-1 ready.
Shit. Ambient noise in the water is 106 decibels. So they're not going to hear it until it's relatively close at least. That'll at least get the torpedo away from me a bit. They're all going to run. They'll all run southwest because that's the direction they're already heading, and the torpedo's coming from the northeast. I'm not worried about them outrunning the Alpha, just for the record here. It's just that it's a pain in the ass to have to track them all down. I didn't want anybody to start running until torpedoes were actually hitting hulls, and... Alright, I'm getting sporadic pickups on M1, which is one of the tankers. It's the only ship I'm picking up at the moment. I've got an E5, or Contact 5, which I have only picked up on electronics. There's the other, there's M3. So there's a 2nd in the fleet. And we've lost a torpedo. Actually, that shows really well how much noise is in the water at the moment. That's how far the torpedo was able to travel without a wire before I lost track of it, and I'm only doing 5 knots. I'm 5 knots, not silent running at this point, and I can't hear the torpedo that I fired that far after it moves beyond that far out. It's real noisy in this water at the moment. But that might actually be a good thing, because it means they're not going to hear it coming, although... Nah, it's not going to hit anything. Does look like it's gone active though, so it's actively searching. Now, I might get lucky and that might hit something. I'd like it not to be a waste. It is sort of on track for the only detection I had of E5, so... I'd like to sort out the Perry to the south, because it's going to be a pain in the butt. It seems to be roughly where I detected it. Okay, we have a Sierra 6 now. That might be the one pinging from the center of the fleet. Alright, so I'm gonna hook the torpedo down south, just so it's out of direct line with the Alpha, and then curve it back in and see whether or not we can find the Perry with it, because the Perry's the closest threat, and it does have towed sonar array. What is it? West Fleet, small oiler, trawler. That looks like it there.
Con sonar 06 is classified as.
Alright, so 2 oil tankers and a modular cargo carrier. And still no return signal on E5 at all. We're still getting a sonar ping from the center. So that sonar ping could be coming from E5, or it could be coming from something else that's inside of that fleet. Regardless.
Contact bearing 253, designated Sierra 7.
Really? That looks in line with the sonar pings we've been getting from the center of the fleet. So... what are you? Hang on. The torpedo we fired actually did hit something. It's likely actually hit E5 because we haven't identified what E5 is, so we're not getting a render of it other than we got a sound that something was hit. Should do for activation, I think.
Con sonar regained contact on Master 2, bearing 208.
Alright, so yeah, it's definitely Perry that's pinging.
Con sonar new contact bearing. Sierra 8.
So I reckon she's straight down there. I reckon she's just trolling around looking. Let's get a few more torpedoes out here since the explosion has notified the fleet. We can see the US oil tanker at the moment making a left-hand turn.
Con sonar regained contact on Master 4, bearing 279.
And we're slowly starting to pick them all up as they're going to flank speed and starting to run.
Noisemaker bearing 205.
Perry's right about where we thought she was too. She's dropping noisemakers down there. Find a torpedo.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 205.
There we go. Torpedo 1 has acquired the Perry.
Con, fire control, weapon
There's Sierra 8 in there as well.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Yeah, that works. We'll leave the Perry alone for the moment, let it shoot countermeasures and panic, and we'll send our first run of torpedoes in and try and see if we can cripple as many of these tankers as we can. If we can take them out, they won't have countermeasures, and they are our primary target. So eliminate the primary target first, and then we can wash away the destroyers as time permits.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 201.
Perry's still panicking down there. Alright, so Sierra 8, what are you? I'm guessing you are a transport. It's close.
Con
I reckon.
sonar, Master 2 is classified as escort.
Master 2 is an escort. Ah, we misidentified her. She's not a Perry, she's a Nox. That's whatever we hit with a torpedo before. So we hit Sierra 8. We've already lost contact with the Nox. It was alright. At least we managed to get some of an ID on her and work out what she is. Doesn't really make much of a difference overall. Let's go escape out that way. Well, we've got torpedo 1 here first. It's just about to hit target. Boom. And not enough to take her down though. Alright, so we're gonna have to deal with that. Right, so that should have 2 go through far enough to avoid the surface vessel and activate behind it to get the small oiler. Being a small fleet oiler, 1 torpedo should be enough. I am not sure what M3 is doing here, but having 2 torpedoes turned in on her to take her out, 2 hits should be enough. There we go, 1's on. And just waiting for torpedo 4 now. Should be just about to activate. There it goes. And weapons acquired. Okay, so 2 torps heading in on that tanker. Let's get the next one. Cool. Alright, tube 6 is away. That'll finish off our southernmost target. Oh shit, shit. No, change, no, do not. M3 had a hole on the other side of the hull. M3 is the one that our wire-broken torpedo hit before, so that's one of our primary targets down. We have a... Oh, somebody's got rocket launch torpedoes, and that's 2 launches. Where the hell are they? That was rendered, so that's coming out of the spruance. That was a ping through Master 5, so Master 5 is an escort of some kind, and we have a loose torpedo. It didn't just fire torpedoes at itself or at one of its own we've got torpedoes dropping into the water in the center. They're targeting the torpedoes, and oh, that could be real nasty. Those torps could easily start picking up their own ships. They're firing torpedoes into the center of their own fleet in a panic. No. Still floating after the torpedo hit. Our small fleet tank has been acquired to the north. That torpedo has done a 180 and is now tracking... That torpedo has done a 180 and is now tracking Master 5. The torpedoes are starting to attack their own fleet. That's why it's dropping countermeasures. They're shooting themselves. Oh, come on. Will that hit? I'm going to assume that torpedo is heading straight for target and is in the right position, and I'm assuming M5. Alright, there we go. Master 5 is a Perry. And boom. Okay. Small tanker is taken out. That torpedo tracking?
Con sonar lost contact. Master 5. Last bearing 256. Contact faded.
Right, we lost the Perry. I'm not sure what that torpedo is doing now, because if that's right, the torpedo was tracking a countermeasure.
Come left 2211 helm I. Make turns 4 knots. Maneuvering I.
Sapru is almost disabled. Torpedo has 180'd over here.
On torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
We can't afford to mess around here for too much longer. We're going to have to start running because we haven't got all of our targets, although...
Con helm. Steady course.
Come on. It looks like it has... Alright, return torpedo shot from the Nox there. I don't really want to start running until 6 has acquired the oil tanker down here.
Contact on. Master 2. Bearing 174.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Alright, our torpedo has acquired the tanker, and the Nox has that torpedo in the water. Alright. 1,000 feet. Should be deep enough to get below that torpedo. Alright, so we're going to be... Well, we're going to be at about half of our crush depth. I think crush depth around 2,000 feet for the Alpha. So we should be fine enough that that shouldn't detect us. Now...
Fire control, we've lost the wire.
Shit.
Shoot 2-1, aye sir.
That's alright. That torpedo was already locked onto the tanker, so it'll continue to track, and the tanker has no countermeasures. So we just got to get this one to the sprue and delete it, and then we can start running south and see whether or not we can get the remaining transports. I'm really not concerned about the Nox at this point, or the Perry for that matter. They're there. They are. But I don't really care about them. In this much water, as you can see, their effectiveness is kind of crap. They can't hear me. They're firing their shots as best they can. The Nox has worked out enough to know that I have to be up this way, but it fired the torpedo really short, so it doesn't know exactly where I am. Nobody's fired a rocket-propelled torpedo directly to my location, or rocket-launched torpedo, so yeah, they haven't fired one to my location. If they knew exactly where I was, they would have spam dumped torpedoes directly on top of me. And that is all she wrote. So that's 2 of our targets, 3 of our targets technically down. We still have 2 more left to go. If we get rid of the sprue, she's the biggest of the escorts here. So her tonnage will look nice just in general, and then I can run between without having to worry about her. We have a problem. That's all of our torpedoes loaded. We've only got 4 left in the tubes and 1 on the wire. She's 8,000 tons. Yeah, I know. Nothing else has dropped. Ah, that's what it's telling me. The, shit, it's detected me. Alright, fun and games are over, time to run now. That torpedo managed to pick me up. Yep, that's alright. That's fine, that's fine. Cool. That was annoying.
Come right to 2. Make turns 4, 1 knots. Maneuvering aye.
We've lost contact with everything now.
Come left 2, 1 9. Helm aye. Con helm steady course.
At this point, we went to flank. If they were listening, they heard us then. So let's just start closing. We have no control of our own torpedoes at this point, or our 1 torpedo that's in the water, so... And here they come. That looks like 2 rocket-propelled torpedoes, and this time they will have our location, I reckon. The animation for those are actually kind of cool. Alright. Oh, they're close. They're definitely within, definitely close enough to be able to detect us. Boom. Nice. Alright, the sprue's down. That's 8,000 tons more to my tally, and I think she's the platform that was launching all of these rocket launch torps as well. So with her out, these should be the last ones left. It. The upside of the Alpha is you don't actually need to worry too much about it. Like 41 knot speed. Those torpedoes can catch me, but only just. So I can drop a countermeasure every now and again, a decoy. I can pop a knuckle every now and again, and then essentially just keep running in a straight line, and I will, for the most part, be able to keep them off my 6 and just continually throw them off until they run out of fuel and, you know, self-detonate. The catch is that I've got to run at flank to do it, which means everything on the surface can hear me and continue attacking me the whole time. And I can't launch any torpedoes in return. I've got to slow down to fire torps. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. That is screenshot material right there. Oh, and that is the despawn. Okay. I suppose it makes sense. It's down over 1,000 feet now, so... Alright. Stupid air-launched torpedoes. A little closer. There we go. And we have another one.
Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 294.
Okay, somebody else has rocket launch torpedoes from the looks. Ow! Jesus. You know, you'd think I'd get used to that. Why is it the second one's always quieter than the first? I gotta get these torps grouped up. There we go. Second two are coming in. First one's already thrown. Another one. Yeah, that's to be expected running the active sonar. I was sort of hoping we might pick up this this transport, but this much noise in the water and 41 knots, we just weren't getting a return. So, and right on us, which is to be expected. We're making a lot of noise at the moment, so that's fine. There, alright. That's going to have it coil basically into the same pack of torpedoes that we've got to our rear.
Con sonar. Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 009.
That is likely the one that just dropped on top of us has actually picked us up. So that was likely the acquisition of the enemy torpedo. So that's cool. And go for a turn. It's one of the best parts about the Alpha, because it's so fast, it's so easy to just drop knuckles on command. You've got that much speed to work with. Alright, that's one, that's two. Okay, so we're down to 2 torpedoes. Go, thrown 1, and we've got another torpedo that just hit the surface. There it is. Okay.
Con sonar. Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 269.
Looks So that one acquired quickly. Actually, shit, that one's diving down pretty hard. Yeah, that one's close enough. It's going to go over the knuckle. Go, torpedoes thrown.
Passing 1,800 feet. Passing 1,800 feet. Knuckle port.
Come right to 225 L9. Con L.
There we go. Alright, so all the torpedoes are now grouped back up again. Sorry I'm not talking too much at the moment, just trying to get these bastards all grouped so I can keep avoiding them. I need to... Yeah, I'm gonna have to... I've got the mosses. Alright. I've got to get rid of these torpedoes so I can start finding the targets, because we've got to be nearly on top of them. Right. There's the knuckle.
Make turns.
And...
Maneuvering eye.
Come on. There we go.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
Make turns 1 0 Make turns 3
Let's go for the surface. That's one of them detonated. That means the other one's going to run out of fuel sometime soon as well. And it looks like they have both. Didn't even notice you. Yeah, it looks like those two have both sunk their teeth into the moss. And the new torpedo looks like it's done about the same.
Passing 900 feet. Brake shift approach acquired. Passing 800 feet. Passing 700 feet. Passing 600 feet.
Going for it.
500
Console regain contact.
Fuck, they're a bunch of noisy torps, aren't they?
feet. Passing 400 feet.
Right, here's the trick. Is it going to take us?
Contact on 0.
Passing 300 feet.
Nope, torpedoes are turning through. We're out of their detection cone.
Passing 200 feet.
Yeah, and they're cycling back and reacquiring the moss. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We've just managed to dodge them, and hopefully the rest of the airdrop torpedoes, because those two destroyers are going to be on this now. We've had another one self-destruct. They're going to be on it. They're going to be chasing that moss. Oh, that's cool.
Con maneuvering. Making turns for 5 knots.
That's really cool. The Soviet moss has an S pattern. The American one doesn't have one, or at least I'm pretty sure the American one didn't have one. I like that.
Come right to 0 6.
That is Perry from the looks. Shit, it's close.
Come left to 230 L9.
Yeah, it knows we're there. It knows we're here. Alright, 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 alright. Fire. And turn in. Oh, that's a really short shot. Oh, shit.
Bearing 173.
Got no wire control on an active torpedo that's close. The hell? Alright, that's acquired. Alright, it looks like one of their airdrops and the torpedo we fired are both hunting the Moss. The Perry survived by letting our Moss at nearly 2,000 feet pick up the torpedo and drag it from the surface. Okay, I guess. The Soviet Moss are slightly better than the American ones, just looking at that.
Helm left 226, helm high. Con, helm, steady course.
Their torpedoes turning back in the direction of the Perry. And it does look like we're actually free at the moment.
Con, maneuvering, making turns for 4-1 knots.
Yeah, now it looks like the torpedo's just looping around at the moment. It looks like that countermeasure has really got it confused. And we appear to be far enough away that we are safe. And everything else is just attached to that Moss, so... we'll extend the gap a little bit here, I think. Almost there. 50 feet. Looks like the cargo. We got that really close. That one's... where is it? There we go. Alright, so position is confirmed. Get down a little bit first. It's right there. That's a pretty good guess on where to pop up. Although I suppose they just travel in straight lines, so it's predictable enough. Anyways, let's deal with the problem here. Alright, tube 4 away. This is the... well, one of our last torpedoes. We only have 3 left, including this one. That should activate and acquire. There it goes, and that should be the end of it. Hopefully it only takes 1 torpedo to sink this bloody thing. Any more than that, I'm going to be in trouble. I only got 2. Actually, it says it doesn't really matter at this point. Regardless of what happens now, mission complete or not, I've got to go back to Murmansk and get a full rearm, because I cannot complete another mission with this lower set of ordnance. Okay, boom. Now the question is whether or not I can find the rest. So, to answer my past self, the answer is yes, but also kinda no. I did a couple of passes over the 5 minutes following the sinking of the last cargo mod, trying to find the enemy fleet. I wasn't able to do so. The last transport managed to escape. It got outside of radar range, never located it again. However, I did locate the Perry approaching. It took about another 15, almost 20 minutes real time to get her into position, but eventually we got a torpedo on her and put her down as well. So that was 2 of the 3 escorts detected, and all but 1 of the transports. Now, I wasn't entirely sure whether or not this would be sufficient to actually complete the mission. Thankfully, it very much was. Including the time it took to actually get clearance to be able to leave the combat zone. It kept saying there was a weapon in place, and even with the time acceleration, the real time to complete this mission was 1 hour and 22 minutes. The Nox managed to escape, and 1 US military transport managed to escape. However, we got the Perry, we got the Spruance. We managed to get the small oiler, the cargo mod, and both of the fleet tankers, and we left the area with 1 torpedo remaining. So, like it or not, we're on our way back to Murmansk next. Thankfully, that was exactly the mission we wound up getting. Our next orders were to return immediately for Murmansk to get our resupply, and we did complete the mission, despite letting that 1 final transport get away. Would have been nice to finish it off, but also, reality is, that transport probably would have taken 2 torpedoes, and I only had 1 to get it, so even if I had managed to locate it, I probably wasn't going to be able to sink it anyway. Of course, we received a medal, we got the Order of Nakhimov, and we also got a campaign update. Ships turn and run. The spokesman for T.Flight naval operations today revealed that an enemy resupply convoy had been successfully repelled by a naval blockade of the UK approach centre, United Kingdom. The large convoy of enemy ships was aggressively engaged, numerous ships were sunk, and the vessels still afloat rapidly turned and withdrew. That's actually an accurate description of what happened, so that's actually rather rare. Normally it doesn't quite line up, but that's cool. And of course our mission update, return to Murmansk for repairs. We didn't actually take any damage despite all the torpedoes dropped at us, and for a resupply, which we most certainly need. So it's going to be a little bit of a long trip back, but that's fine. We will rejoin the Cold War's Soviet campaign in the Alpha in the very next episode. Although there was one more thing. Campaign update, and this one actually caught me off guard considering how well we did in that mission. Somehow NATO managed to retake Norway. I don't know how they did it, but I have a sneaking suspicion whatever mission we get after we resupply is probably going to be related to this. Anyway guys, until next time, take care.